Good morning, Elmira Baptist Church. I'm glad you've joined me again. Thursday, February 11th, 2021's Elmira Baptist Church update. Let me start with a poem. This poem is titled, I've Got an Incredible Headache. I've got an incredible headache. My temples are throbbing with pain. It feels like two locomotives are chugging about in my brain. I'm sure I can't stand it much longer. My skull's being squeezed in a vice as regiments march to the blaring of trumpets and thousands of tap-dancing mice. My head's filled with horrible noises. There's a man mashing melons inside. Someone keeps drumming on bongos and plumbing as porpoises thrash in the tide. An elephant herd is stampeding. A volcano is blowing its top. And if I keep hitting my head with this hammer, I doubt that my headache will stop. New directories are here, and I hope that you know what is in your box. If you have not yet picked it up, that's where it is. And if you're unable to join us in person, don't worry. Our goal, again, like with the calendars, is to get you one of these new directories over the next few weeks. This new directory has a dedication page to Pastor Harder, a dear friend of ours, and it's appropriate that we have this dedication page to him. There's new families in here and some updated addresses as well. Now, let me ask you not to be careless in throwing away your old directory. This is my 2019 directory, and the reason is these directories are really a mine for identity thieves. They have your name, friends' names, they have birthdays, anniversaries in them. So if there's any way you can dispose of these without just carelessly tossing them in the garbage, maybe you have a shredder available to you at work. Maybe you have a fireplace and burn things regularly, but don't just carelessly toss out your old directory. When it comes to the new directory, the 2021 directory, let me ask you to commit to praying through this directory. Pray for one another. You may just keep it as simple as praying for one family each day. And maybe just make a check mark by that family. And then the second time you'll make a second check mark. And just one family a day. Or maybe you want to do it by page. Maybe the first day of the month you're going to pray for this page. And then the second day of the month. Whatever it is, take time to pray for one another. I have divided them up in such a way that I pray through this directory once a week. And I don't just pray, God bless so-and-so, bless so-and-so. There are things, I left my sheet aside, there are things that come up on the prayer sheet. Some of those are long-term things, and I'll write down health issues. I'll write down family members that need prayer. Some of us have work-related issues, and so just pray for one another. Use this as a prayer guide if you would. Now, last night we all met here in the sanctuary for a Bible study on prayer, and then we shared prayer requests, and we took time to pray, and that was a blessing. We'll do that again next Wednesday night. So those of you that joined us virtually, you know that it was a little different because we sang, we had that Bible study, we shared prayer requests, and then we turned off the live stream and we were done for the night. One of our newer families that's been coming on Wednesday nights, I didn't express to the group that when you're done praying, you can leave. So they were with us and they prayed, and then everyone started talking and they weren't sure, is there more that needs to be done? Are we done? Can we go home? And so it was a little bit awkward for them, but they did figure it out. So next week will be the same schedule where we will meet to sing, have a Bible study, share prayer requests, then turn off the live stream and go to prayer, and that'll be the end of the virtual service. Then in 2 weeks, which is February 24th, Nirma will return, and we'll go back to our previous schedule and have the men meet in here and the ladies meet over there for their study on Lies Women Believe. I do have an important prayer request to share with you this morning, and that's our dear friend, Pastor Ernesto. He desperately needs hernia surgery. He has a hernia, needs hernia surgery, but the country where he is not performing hernia surgery right now because of the pandemic. He says it's hard to even move about, of course impossible to exercise, but he's committed to preaching the gospel. So just pray that God will give him grace, that they will continue to see people saved and baptized and discipled, and that God will give them some relief from that hernia distress that he's in. And then pray for visitors to come on Sunday and to make a connection with us. We didn't have any visitors last week that came and made a connection with us, and I just want to see this church grow. I want to see our ministry expand. I know you do too, so pray that God will send us visitors that will not just come and sneak in and sneak out, but that will make that connection with them. The devotional this morning is from Proverbs 24, verse 1. Proverbs 24:1 says, "Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them, for their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief." We've been talking about how we protect our love for God, and I've observed in my own life, maybe you've seen it too, how sometimes our love for God becomes muted, becomes diminished, because frankly, we're envious of other people who are sinning and getting away with it. We see people, they're investing their lives in all kinds of wickedness and evil, and yet nothing happens to them. They seem to go about their merry way, happier today than they were yesterday, and we become envious of sinners. We start to hang around them, start to talk with them, start to listen to their plans, and it twists, it warps our mind. The Bible, this isn't the only place, but the Bible often tells us not to be envious of sinners. They're not facing judgment yet. Judgment begins, the Bible says, at the house of God. God chastises those who are his own children, but those that are not his children, he often just leaves them alone. But one day they will face judgment. One day those investments are going to turn bad. We are investing for eternity. And yeah, the results may not be obvious immediately, but we can be sure that God is faithful. And he will not let any of our investment go to waste. That's why he says, "Be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." So don't be envious of the wicked. Don't get all excited and get your mind bent out of shape because they're getting away with stuff. Trust the Lord. Continue to invest in things that matter for eternity. One day, those investments will pay off. I hope you'll join me again on Saturday for another Protecting Our Love for God update. And that'll be sometime after 6 o'clock on Saturday evening. And then on Sunday, 9:45, we'll have a Sunday school here. Scotty will pre-record his lesson, and for those of you that are watching from home, 11 o'clock will be live, and then 5 o'clock in the evening, we have a missionary who has a unique ministry in Alaska, a little different than the Penix ministry, but just as necessary, and we'll meet them 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. Please plan to join us live.